Talk, talking, 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 talking. Yep. Talking. Hello, two people who've joined. Yeah. Let me make sure this link was. Oh, that's a sufficient link. Okay, we're doing okay here. Hey, everybody. Danny Mullen freed the slaves. Hello, what's up? Uncle Danny is here. I pop my girlfriend's pimples when she gets pimples sometimes. And before I do it, I always say, come here, baby. Let Uncle Danny take care of you. Let him pop that. And it really creeps her out. I'm rewatching Eating Live Animals in Chinatown, and it's the bomb. Yeah, I've got that one private, and I'm still not sure if I'm going to get a strike for that one or not. So I guess it's okay that somebody else is getting the views for it. You guys know I did it, right? It wasn't the guy who uploaded that going around SF chopping up frogs. Reed says he loves me and I'm his biggest role model. Dude, I'm trying, man. I'll try to keep leading you down a good path, I guess, Reed. Daniel O'Brien says, I see you made drama alert. That was really Pussy Coordinator Brooks. Pussy Coordinator Brooks raised a stink after some TikTok shitheads had him paint a big mural thingy, and then they didn't credit him, and he did it for free. That was the reason he took on the project, was to get credit from the TikTok kids. And Keemstar, I don't know much about Keemstar, but I respect him because he told Leo that he was going to use a clip from our podcast, and he was going to credit us. And he used a clip from our podcast, and he credited the shit out of us. So thank you, Keemstar. Some motherfuckers. Fan the channel, watch every single podcast, almost all. And Vio likes the podcast more than the main channel. That's interesting. Danny got a Jasper. Danny, I'm high as fuck, about to board a fucking plane. Nikolai, oh shit, number one fan Nikolai is about to be real high in an airplane. I wish you minimal turbulence. I wish you not a middle seat. We were flying home from Kansas. That's where we've been the last 4 or 5 days. And getting on the last plane home, we went from Kansas up to Minnesota, then had to fly back to Los Angeles. So this was the long flight, the 3.5-hour one. I walk down the aisle, look at my ticket, 17C. Look over to my left, 17C. You got to be fucking me. It's an obese woman and a middle-aged dude in a trucker hat on either side, and my seat was right in the middle. And I was going to shoot myself. That wouldn't have made sense. There's no way I could have got a gun on board. I was going to go drown myself in the toilet, the airplane lavatory. I'd make it work. I'd get water in there somehow. But then Leo pointed out that they'd given me a new ticket at check-in, and I was actually next to him, and we had a seat between us. So, Nikolai, if that happens to you, what I'm trying to say is asphyxiate yourself on the plane, because being high between two random people. Middle seats are cruel and unusual. Can we go to I get what you're saying, Jacob. Jacob's referencing the That's Racist video. Fanjeri is going to impregnate your girl? I doubt that. Matthew says, I got to stop touching 4-year-olds. Not going to happen. What's up, Danny? What's up, God? Hospital. Are you growing the mullet out again? Asked Luke. Luke, I'm actually about to get it cut. It's getting unruly. What are your top 3 Smith songs? The Smiths were my most played band on Spotify in 2018. The crooning and the beautiful lyrics of Stephen Morrissey, the jangly, original, masterful guitar riffs of one Johnny Marr, and then the tight rhythm section. My 3 favorite Smith songs are number 1, Cemetery Gates. Number 2, maybe Rush 'Em Ruffians, the song that I used in the second Edward Forty video. Number 3, Paint a Vulgar Picture, which I used in the Fairy Tale video. Bam! That's your top 3 Smith songs. Giovanni, Utah? Maybe, dude. Maybe. It's not on the radar yet. You're the only YouTuber that matters. I like to think that. That's nice. That's good for me. Sorry, guys. I'm scrolling up. If it seems like I'm delayed, it's because I am. I'm reading down the list, guys. I'm not going down to the bottom and then going up. So I'll get to you guys eventually, hopefully. I have an hour and 20 minutes before I got to sign off for the night. But that's a lot of time, isn't it? There's people saying... Okay, who's is causing a ruckus in here? I got to talk to him. Being offered a place in Australia. Addison, can you talk about how to maintain structure in your life? I feel like my life has no structure and I always end up wasting so much time. How are you so productive? Addison, it wasn't always the case. I remember when I was in my mid-20s, it would be like 11, and I only worked 2 days a week. And this is after college, mind you. I had a valuable degree from UCLA, and I was just plucking along on my acoustic guitar, learning songs from a tablature website. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I could have done to waste time because, well, that's not totally true. There's some musical numbers in my YouTube video, so maybe I was practicing for that. What I'm getting at, Addison, is I have been there. And I'm trying to tell he's cut back on the drinking. He's getting shit-faced and drinking himself to bed every night with a 6-pack half a week later. Leo and I have talked a lot of times on the podcast about sex addiction and the negative effect that's having on his life. But he'll probably tell you he's still addicted to sex. So it needs to come from within. And I can tell you that life goes by a lot quicker than you think it's going to go when you're in your early 20s. You get to 30 like I am now and you say, holy fuck, I got another decade in my prime. And then in the 40s and the 50s, you could drop dead of a heart attack. In the 60s, 70s, absolutely that's the case. And you're already pretty much old. So you got to get busy making money now because being broke is no longer cute when you're 42. Working in an Olive Garden sharing a studio apartment with one of your stoner buddies and working on your arts during the day. That can fly when you're 25. But again, when you get to 42, you got to have your shit together. And that realization started to creep up on me. I would also say, Addison, start reading books on personal development. The books that were big for me at the stage where I was still sort of meandering through life were Think and Grow Rich and 10X by Grant Cardone. What were some of the things UCLA did to treat you like garbage, says Arctic Mayhem? They didn't really treat me like garbage. I had a great time there. They didn't let me in for screenwriting school, though, and that pissed me off. It turned out to be a good thing, though. I'm really glad I'm not $40,000 in debt learning how to write for a medium that's probably not going to be dominant for that much longer. I really just didn't like Arctic Mayhem, the people at UCLA, the stuck-up frat girls, all rich and snotty and obsessed with status, unable to think for themselves. Their assessment of a person was based on where they're interviewing and what sort of banking internship they have lined up for the summer. That was the mindset that prevailed over there. And I hated it. And I got madder and madder and more disillusioned every passing quarter. And that manifested in me destroying shit in the frat house and fighting people in the streets and drinking and fucking myself into oblivion. UCLA itself was good, though. I like it. I still go there all the time to walk around the pretty lawns. I went back recently. You might have seen on my Instagram or Twitter, or you might have seen the clip going viral on TikTok of me getting kicked out of my old place of work while I was hammered. All right, here's Woos. He's been spamming this. I bought your Patreon. Clearly, you wouldn't be able to be here otherwise. Your content is the best, but where is the fucking tits, you fucker? Tits. One example of those being out is in the I Ruined a Bus Tour video, which is 2 extra content videos down. So you didn't look very hard for the tits now, did you, Whoops? Hey, man, how do you not worry about knocking up your girlfriend? You recently said you're having sex with your girlfriend unprotected. I'm just curious. Ryan, it's a good question. She just got an intrauterine device put in, and I can feel it. And she sent me pictures of her in the surgery room. So I kind of have to trust that. You're right, though, dude. I mean, I'm not saying her, but girls in general do lie about being on birth control. One of my older buddies told me that when a girl gets up into her late 20s, early 30s, especially if they're on the pill, you can't just always take their word for it and start firing loads up the twat. That biological clock of theirs is ticking, and they'll do some irrational shit, those broads. Yeah. Ryan, I'm quite positive she's got an intrauterine device, though, so unless it's defective, we're okay. And I would make her get an abortion. Eric, how does it feel to pass Leo and Instagram followers? Satisfactory. Danny, congrats on your success. Hella patrons. Awesome to see you. You deserve it. Connor, I know, man. It's been fucking great. And it's, for the most part, being spent on reinvesting in the videos and making them better for you guys. I read recently in a book, the best way to get rich, to get more patrons and sell more merch, is to give. And that's what I care about doing. I want to go risk arrest, go risk getting punched in the face, book the extra fancy Airbnb, pay this guy the money to let us come into his business and film a bit, because I know it's all going to manifest or turn into better content for you guys. So, yeah, glad Patreon's allowed me to do that. And then also, to be honest, I put away a good amount of money at the start of every month into my savings account, because financial security is a novel thing to me. I've never had that before, and it feels pretty good. Okay, oh, there's a chick. Kayla, am I pronouncing that correctly? It's got a suspicious I in there. I gotta warm up here, guys. I'm sorry. Woke up this morning, read, wrote, studied comedy, worked out, meditated, and then I've been editing video since my head is foggy. Kayla, should be on the new existence. My birthday tomorrow. Please talk shit to me as a present. Kevin Zaragoza. That's a Mexican-sounding last name. Quit worrying about celebrating your birthday and get back to the lettuce field. Woos is continuing to bitch about tits. Danny Mullins single-handedly needed World War II. I don't know what that means. Aaron, what's up? Danny hung up with my girlfriend on FaceTime to listen to this Jordan great play. My girlfriend was trying to FaceTime me before I got on this, but I told her, no, the patrons, I got to talk to them. Would you consider recording an audio reading of your old books and putting them on Spotify? It's not a bad idea, Colin. It would just take a long time, and I'm not sure that that many people would care or it would go over that well. They're on fucking Amazon. Like, if you care enough, they're easy, light reads. You guys can do that. I don't need to spend 16 hours reading those fuckers. Podcast is great, but can't match stuff like Wizard of Oz. I'm glad you liked the Wizard of Oz video. It seemed to be not as popular as some of the other recent videos that have come out. Nico stole the show. Some interesting creative stuff going on with there as far as it starting in black and white, then going color, and some really offensive jokes about fat people, some of which are never going to see the light of day because I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. Top 3 Thrice songs. Thrice is a band from Orange County. They started out really hardcore in their younger days, and then they gradually progressed into more traditional rock. It was the second band I was obsessed with as a kid. I loved the band Brand New, who also ended up being a really fucking kick-ass band later in their career. And then after that, I had a love affair with the band Thrice. Top 3 Thrice songs. Let's go Under a Killing Moon, a song about burning witches. Let's go The Earth Will Shake, a song about breaking out of prison. And let's go In Exile off the album Beggars. If you guys don't know who these bands are, you don't give a shit about this. I'm just trying to answer. Podcast is like Jewish people. That seems like the premise to a joke given by somebody who can't speak English very well. Podcast is like Jewish people. It's punchline, but there's no punchline. And I'm really eager to learn why a podcast is like Jewish people. Jack says he can't wait for the party, the Center of America video. I don't know if any of you guys were at that party, but I will say now that it was the best fan meetup. It was the best collection of fans. It was awesome. And maybe it was because it's one of the only ones we've done at night, but it felt like a stand-up show. It felt like a party at the same time. And everybody was so goddamn grateful we came out there. Probably because they live in Kansas, and it sucks, and there's nothing to do. Either way, I had a great time. In the videos, guys, the next 3 videos we have coming down the pipe are A++ tier. They're S tier. I know Mercedes-Benz, they do that, right? Their best car is the S-Class. It was probably the French who invented that fucking system. Like, no, A, B, C, S is the best. Fuck them. But I will say, just because I've already clung to this analogy, that the videos we have coming up, S tier. SSS. 3 videos. And you guys know me. I'm already deep into research for the next batch after that. I've got 2 or 3 weeks to really write the fuck out of these ones coming up. I'm excited. Danny, I'm going to go into ankle surgery because I completely busted ass skateboarding on a half pipe. Do you have any surgery stories? Flash, I got my nose broken probably multiple times, but I got it broken so bad once I had to go into surgery. It was my first fight ever. I was in an art class at Bella Vista High School, and I was horsing around with this underclassman one day when his brother came in out of the wings, ripped me off his little brother, and started twisting my hands, mercy style. Remember that game he used to play in 3rd grade where you grab people and you try to twist them until they say mercy? He started doing that to me, and I shoved him. I said, what gives, dude? What do you want? We started jawing a little bit, went back to our seats. He came up to me as we were exiting the classroom and said, hey, let's fight. Meet me at China Wall tomorrow, 4 p.m. Fighting was just starting to come into vogue. Fight Club had come out, the film, I guess it had come out sometime before this. This was in 2006, I believe. That was in the back of everybody's mind, but the UFC had just entered the popular consciousness. It had gone from something where it wasn't even owned by Zuffa. It was taking place in shitholes like Alabama, to being in Vegas and featuring people like Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz, who are getting spots on Conan and Bryan and Jay Leno. I was watching the UFC at that point. I think this fucking kid was watching the UFC. And you started to see it. More and more dudes were squaring up and shooting the worst double leg takedowns you've ever seen in the schoolyard or in parks after school. You felt it. It was a hostile time. And for that reason, I said, fuck yeah, let's do this. This was pre-jiu-jitsu. I had absolutely no business going and squaring up with this guy. And I knew that. So I tried to get out of it by inviting everybody I knew to the fight location. Hey, Tim, I told this guy I was going to fight him. Show up, bring Billy, bring your brother. Let's go fuck this guy up at China Wall. Hey, Mike. Yeah, I know I haven't talked to you in 5 years. Yeah, remember we used to play paintball together. No. My name's Danny. Yeah, hey, I'm fighting this Mormon kid. Yeah, come out. At the very least, you'll see a show. We're going to beat the fuck out. I do that until I amass a squad of 30 people. We walk up the China Wall. I got my shirt off. So arrogant. Back then, I weighed about 120 pounds, too. I looked like I'd just been liberated from Dachau after a 6-month concentration camp stint. We walk up, and this guy derailed my strategy of bringing this big army instantly with these words. You and I are fighting, right? So you don't need all these guys to help you out. And I said, oh, fuck, he's right. Yeah, I'm being a bitch if I fight with all these guys. Okay, yeah, let's go, one-on-one. The next 3 minutes were two dudes, bare-knuckle boxing. No head movement. No finesse when it came to our left hooks or our right uppercuts. And it was very even, except for the fact that he outweighed me by 30-some pounds. I spun him around once. I, like the people I ridiculed earlier, shot the worst double leg of all time unsuccessfully. Eventually, he caught me with one. Flash knockout. Saw the lights, heard the ring, went down on my ass, dazed. Not knocked out, but just all fucked up for a second. Landed on my ass. He says, are you done? And I said, yeah, I'm done. Got up. We shook hands. There was no issue after that. But I felt my nose, and it was completely crooked to this side. It's still a little crooked, but it used to be way worse. This guy caught me with a big right hook. Had to go through school for a couple of weeks with a C-shaped nose. Luckily, summer was right around the corner. Went to a Roseville plastic surgeon. He straightened it out. Don't remember much of the surgery. Physiologist put me under. Had to count down from 100. Made it to 96.5. And I woke up with some nurse. And I remember the first thing the nurse said to me was, my daughter would think you were really cute, which I found hard to believe. My face was caked with blood. My eyes were big squirrel eyes when the squirrel is seconds from getting run over by a car. Where am I? What the fuck just happened? And I went home that night to my parents' house, and the pain all came back. And my little bitch teenage self was like, oh, it hurts so bad. I was crying. I think at one point, I know I'd said this. I told my dad to kill me. The pain was so severe. What a little fucking bitch. This is my dad. We're going to go retrieve a 12 gauge and just put it to my temple. Well, my son's telling me to kill him after an innocuous nose surgery. Got to take his life. And then, of course, I was, after that, I had to get revenge. I had to learn how to defend myself. So I got into jiu-jitsu, which was actually a really good move. Started boxing a little bit. I didn't have any affinity for boxing. Jiu-jitsu worked really well with me. I'm a natural jiu-jitsu, sucked at boxing. But, of course, I was getting in there with Max, who was a seasoned boxer. And our first time sparring, the dude crushes my nose again, blood all over the mat, and it hasn't been fixed since then. I probably get my nose straightened out someday if I have to be, like, really rich to even want to spend a couple $1,000s it would take to get it straightened out. That was a pretty good surgery story, right? Flash, you're fucking welcome. Baby boy Danny, what's up, Jacob? Why the fuck would anybody willingly go to Kansas? Why would anybody willingly go to Baker, to Barstow, to Slab City, to Bakersfield, dude? That's what I fucking do. collab with anyone in Kansas? Brian, no, I did not. Fucking hell, says Kayla. Von Dutch hat. I don't have a Von Dutch hat. You remind me of Alex Moran from Blue Mountain State. Oh, okay, I haven't seen that show. I know it's got some hot broads in it. Hey, Danny, how do I avoid getting pee in my briefs after peeing? There's always a little drop. Carlos, I read an article on this in Men's Health. You reach up under your nutsack and you press on your gooch. I think there's a piss tube that runs there. And if you hit the piss tube, it'll squirt all the extra out. But everybody screws up from time to time in that department, Carlos. Everybody gets a little drip of ur in the briefs from time to time. Danny, I follow your Spotify. It's funny to see you're listening to music you talk about on Patreon. I have a Spotify. I gotta start listening to cooler music. I've been on a big Avenged Sevenfold kick lately, and they're pretty embarrassing to be a fan of. What's the best city to visit with the most loose women that are decent quality? Devontae asks, this is a question I can help you with. Right now with Corona, it's a little bit screwed up. But I'm going to give you my hierarchy for the 3 easiest places to get laid. Let me make sure I've thought this through and I'm not feeding you guys bullshit. Yeah, it's really only 3 places I can think of that are significant. Honorable mention, though, I just haven't spent enough time there. Austin, Texas. Beautiful women on Rainy Street, which is this little off 6th. 6th is the big main party street everybody talks about. Trashy drunk broads there. That's the easiest place to get laid. But if you got a little more game, you get laid the first night and you're feeling confident, head over to Rainy. If you want to fuck some ex-sorority girl style chicks. Let's get to my top 3. You know, the first answer, and I'll just say this is number 3, even though it's a little bit of a cop-out here. Number 3 isn't really a place, it's a thing, and that thing is college. If you're in college, and assuming you've chosen not some all-boys school or a place in rural North Dakota, the easiest place to get laid. I was going to say LA is number 3, and I have gotten some play here after picking a girl up in bars a couple times. But I've also heard a lot of people complain that it's difficult. The girls who live here likely are well off, or not well off, but middle class, working at respectable tech jobs that require a college degree, which means they're going to be a little more choosy. If you're broke, if you've got nothing on, they're probably not going to fuck you. And then the other variety is the coked up wannabe actress currently employed as a prostitute chicks who were in line for the clubs in West Hollywood. They're even more difficult to fuck than the tech-style girls that you're going to find in Santa Monica. So for that reason, I'm not going to say LA is a real fishing with dynamite style situation. San Francisco. I used to call San Francisco my pussy capital. It had the most girls that I could call up at any hour if I was in town, and they would come fuck me. You, obviously, Devontae, probably don't have a surplus of on-call vagina in San Francisco. So I would say the great thing about SF, even if you're just a tourist, is that there's a neighborhood for everybody. If you're a guy with tattoos and you are into indie rock and barbecue and going to hip little taco places, you can go to the Mission District where you're going to find girls who are also into all that shit too. Girls who vote for Bernie Sanders and who say their favorite record of all time is In the Aeroplane Under the Sea by Neutral Milk Hotel. You're going to find them there. But I would go to the Marina District where you find the girls who love cocaine, who are ex-sorority girl sluts, and who are so drunk off their fucking tits that they will take you home and fuck you that night. There was a bar in San Francisco called Stock and Trade that closed down, and it hurts my heart and the heart of several of my buddies. You guys probably know my buddies. Tim, who's been featured in a bunch of my videos, most recently in the Giving My Girlfriend Dog Poop video, and then Fu, who was in the bus tour video. We had so many good times there because Tim and I lived in San Francisco, and Fu would always fly out from Vegas. Guys, we would have weekends. We'd pregame at 74 Eastwood Drive, which is where Tim and I lived with 7 other men. It was a barracks. It was the apex of my degenerate, drunken, young in a big city era of my life. We pregame all fucking Friday nights, and at that time I was not opposed to doing a little bit of cocaine. Go out to stock and trade, and more often than not, bring a gaggle of chicks home, fuck 2 of them that night, or 1 each, or 1 for all 3 of us. Wake up the next morning, start drinking again. Sometimes go out, meet a girl at a brunch function, or like a SantaCon, for instance. They used to have this Santa Claus-themed bar crawl. Fuck a girl at the day party, if something like that was going on. Go back, take a nap, wake up, do more blow, drink more, go out on Saturday night, and sometimes get laid again. It seems inconceivable to me now because my game is not nearly as good as it used to be. And like going out and talking to random chicks isn't my forte anymore. But I mean, I go back and I look at the list of girls that I've had sex with. And like, I think like 15 of them came from that one bar, stock and trade. So, and it's, I'll give you a hint here. It's reimagined itself as a country bar now. It's in the same place and it's still a meat market. It's on Lombard and something or other. Just search the country bar on Lombard, Devontae, and go fucking check that shit out. Number 1, Cabo San Lucas, or probably Cancun too, or maybe somewhere in Florida during spring break. Again, this isn't really a place as much as it's a thing or a time. It's a time here. If you go down to Cabo San Lucas, though, that's the one I can speak on out of firsthand experience. It's in Mexico. I went thrice. And I think I fucked 3 girls the last time I went. I think I fucked 4 girls the last time I went in 4 days. 4 girls, the time before that, 3 girls, and the time before that, 2 girls. And I had a girlfriend when I fucked the 2 girls. So what's that? Are we looking at 7, 9? Is that 9 chicks? I probably got the math wrong. That's another place where you could fuck in the daytime because just you don't have to have any fucking game, dude. You go up and tap a girl on the shoulders. And she can't even look at you straight because her eyes are so fucking clouded with liquor. Cheap Mexican tequila. I mean, they're all inclusive, these resorts. You go up to the bar and you order 10 tequila shots and they give you 10 tequila shots backed by 6 Coronas and it's all free. So everybody can hardly walk around nude. And it just turns it like you could be fingering girls in the pool. I remember once in Cabo San Lucas, in a blackout, I was walking to the food court trying to somehow pad my stomach and absorb the liquor and revive myself. A girl walked by. I was too drunk to see her face. I couldn't focus. Everything was just a swirly whirlpool. I grabbed her by the wrist, led her up to my room. She took off her pants, opened her legs. I fucked her, and I passed out inside of her. We woke up like 20 minutes later. My roommates came back in, and she got up, hastily got dressed, and I just rolled over onto my back, condom still on, went back to sleep, woke up at 9 p.m. that night with a fucking condom on still. You can't beat that, Devontae. Cabo San Lucas, spring break. It's my number 1. Grant asks, how long were you in Minnesota for? Just for a layover, Grant. And the Delta Airlines people were kind enough to give us a full 10 minutes between us setting foot off the jetway from the flight connecting from Kansas and getting to the jetway for the flight that was departing to LA. And we had to sprint across the entire airport. We were sweating by the time we arrived in the plane. Tanner, no plans to go to Canada yet. Paul, you didn't call me during the party. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Danny, this new video is going to be fucking madness. I can already tell it's going to be, Jack. You're the man. What's up, Cameron? What's up, Caleb? What's up, buddy? Can we expect a podcast where Austin and Nico are both on the podcast couch with a rack of Trulies? I like it. Or Colin, since Austin's vice is marijuana, it would make sense that we give him another 4,000 milligrams and we give Nico a couple of 6-packs. That is an episode right there. Thank you for that suggestion. By the way, Count of Monte Cristo adaptations didn't suck. I'm too sure what that's in reference to. Danny, do you have any interest in doing the stand-up circuit or stand-up in general or more of what you're doing now? Connor is a very dedicated patron. I did stand-up, and there's a video of it on my channel, my first stand-up show. And then there's the I Ruined a Stand-Up show video from New York, where you see the surrounding events of a show I did in that city. I wasn't very good when I first got up there. I think I would do a lot better now, just from more performing experience and having studied a lot more tape and knowing the underlying skeletal structure of a good stand-up act. I think I would do a lot better now. And so I would like to get up a couple of times just for, I mean, I take improv classes. I do things like this, and I podcast. This is great because it's content for you guys, and I get to interact with you guys. But it's also, on the selfish end, it's good for me, too, because I get practice at broadcasting and practice at making jokes that pays off in the main channel videos. So I would like to do stand-up again for that reason. The problem is all the clubs in LA are closed right now. But yeah, it's not going to be something I pursue seriously because unless you get a Netflix special, it's a better career path to be a YouTube comedian. And I like this. There's more I can do with it instead of standing up on stage and regurgitating the same jokes all the time for like 20 people instead of 200,000 like I get to perform for right now. Fuck Fan Jerry, says Edison. You met my dad and my brother on the 4th of July shoot. My dad said circumcision is murder. Connor Elliott, hell yeah, I remember that. It's when we get in the battle with that broad on the media. Get a buzz cut. I don't look good in a buzz cut, dude. I got a big head and a big nose, and I need to cover it with some hair. Wild, man, but why would you do that horrendous act in the Mandalay Bay Hotel? Paul, I was feeling a little blue the entire week leading up to that festival. I hate country music. It's a bunch of simpletons singing about jeans, trucks, and Jesus. And I had a few drinks and lost some money on the casino floor. 110 people had to die. You got a problem with that? What's that guy's name? I used to know that guy's name. I'm still shaking off the cobwebs from my fucking brain right now. Sorry. Hypocrite because you serve some of your fraternity brothers were spot on. Pix is talking shit because he thinks I'm mad at Jerry for trying to fuck my girlfriend. Well, first of all, spot on Pix. Some of my fraternity brothers weren't, as the name would suggest, actually brothers. There were a lot of guys in the fraternity who I said 1, 2, 3 sentences to. Some guys I never talked to the entire time I was there. And yeah, I fucked a couple of guys' girlfriends who I didn't know very well. I would hope Fan Jerry would hold himself to a higher standard given our relationship. But also, I'm not mad at, I don't know where you gathered that I was mad at Fan Jerry. I tell him I'm not mad at him in the main channel video, and I told him that again on the podcast. I completely understand why a drunk and coked out Fan Jerry would make a move on my girlfriend Mia, who's a piece of ass and way out of his league. I'm not blaming him at all. I absolutely trapped him in that situation. We set him up. We wanted him to try to kiss her. Not mad at him. Do you have any good stories from Stephen Besso's backyard? Flash, interestingly enough, Flash is asking some fun questions today. I fucking do. Flash, I used to go over to Stephen Besso's. His parents, first of all, Stephen Besso's sister is hot as shit. So I'd go over there probably on some level just to try to have sex with her, which never happened. But Stephen Besso's parents also were the cool parents, like the cool Italian parents in high school, who would just let us get fucking hammered at their household for some reason. Nobody else was doing that. There were a lot of kids who were, I just learned this term yesterday, latchkey children, meaning their parents were never home and we get a party at their house. But the Bessos were always on site when we were getting trashed. There was never any fighting, as I've led people to believe in a couple of videos. But at one time, I took a Mormon girl into the backyard and fingered her on Stephen Besso's diving board. That's a true story. Dude, we used to get so... I would always drink a 6-pack of Fat Tire. That was my signature in high school. And after one 6-pack, I would be sloppy, using the counter for support, falling over in the living room, passing out on the floor behind the couch. One night at Stephen Besso's, I probably passed out at 3 a.m., slept a couple of shitty drunken hours, got up and drove to jiu-jitsu that morning. And it didn't occur to me that I might want to get a good night's sleep and not black out before a 7 a.m. jiu-jitsu class. And it was the worst day of training I've ever had. And I still wonder sometimes what the fuck I was thinking. You spent a portion of your life with a shortish fighter, dude. You know anything I can do to compensate for being a cruel 5'8.5"? Well, 5'8.5", I think, is slightly above the average height for men. So colossal big D. I would just find comfort in the fact that you have a colossal big dick, as your name suggests. I don't know. You're talking about handling yourself? Uriah Faber did get more pussy than anybody I've ever known. More than Leo, even. Well, the thing is, Uriah Faber didn't have to work for it. He was famous enough. It didn't matter to him. So if you're really insecure about being 5'8", which I wouldn't be, dude, because that's, again, the average height of men, I would work on the other parts of your life that you can control, because there's nothing you can do to get any taller. Get a better job, get in better shape, start a business on the side, develop your sense of humor, wake up earlier, stop drinking so much. How many likes in your next video to shave your head? I don't know. 500,000, because if it got 500,000, my channel would be blowing up to another level, and I would make a deal with Satan that I would shave my hair if that was going on there. I just got bounced, guys, back to the bottom of the list, so I'm going to go back to the top again. I'm sorry, guys. This is always awkward when I have to scroll to the top. A lot of comments. Okay, I'm going to have to pick up the fucking pace here. Oh, my God. Holy shit. I get really sucked into one or two questions, and then it gets hectic. This is good, though. This means a lot more people are on the Patreon now. Dude, this is fucking annoying. Okay, guys, I think I got I lost some questions, so I'm sorry if I'm not answering your questions. They're gone, and I just got to work with them. Danny, y'all didn't call me for the 4,000. Paul, I don't know who you are, dude. I'm sorry, man. I don't know if I was supposed to call you. And Danny, when you come to Oregon, you should film at a gas station and pretend to be an attendant or some shit. I want to go, Paul, to the last remaining Blockbuster video. It's in Bend, Oregon. That sounds like a good one. Can you put the uncensored version of that guy's sister flashing on FaceTime? In Texas? I want to get permission, woos, before I start really dropping the titties. The girl Christina from the Edward Forty-Hands during coronavirus video did agree to have her tits on here. Let me text Ian about that. That's something we've been working on, but just shit always comes up as far as the work week. Spam, if you're gay, do you think you'll ever fan me up in Florida? Perhaps someday. Advice for someone moving to pursue a creative job opportunity. October sunrise, just do it. And if you are afraid to do it and you're not going to do it and you're staying in the comfort of your office job instead, then you don't have what it takes. You just got to do it or not do it, man. Connor Elliott is spamming. When are you going to do another event like Middle of America Party? That would be fun. Well, I just did one. You could have been there, Ryan. You had 24 hours notice. What are your thoughts on Infinite Jest? I think it's awesome. I think the footnotes are a little annoying, or the end notes. I wish they were footnotes so I didn't have to flip to the back of the book to read them. Infinite Jest is this book. It's one of the greatest comedic novels ever written by a genius author named David Foster Wallace. It centers on a tennis academy that a bunch of young boys play at and various AA clinics. Those are the two parts of the story. And within the text, there are end notes, and you have to read the back of the book to figure out what the fuck the author has to say about this thing that's going on. Usually that happens in a history text or in a mathematics book. It's happening in a novel here. And they say he did it so that reading the book felt like you were in a tennis match, because the book focuses on tennis. I loved it. Paul, I don't know what you're talking about the party. I promised nobody I was going to call them during the party. I'm gonna block Paul if I'm gonna block Paul from Patreon. This is driving me fucking nuts. Advice for someone moving to pursue a creative job opportunity. I don't listen to Echo and the Bunny Man. I listen to a little bit of Pavement. They're pretty sweet. The bit on the tour bus is legendary. Like, how do you have the confidence you do? Josh is referring to the I Ruined a Bus Tour video. Yeah, man, that was fucking scary because if the bus turned on us, there was no escape. To get off the bus, we needed to go back down the aisle past all the people. Fucking neighbor shithead dog is barking. So if they decided they wanted to collectively beat the shit out of me, I would have had to jump over the side and probably sprain or maybe worse, break my ankle. We were up pretty high. All right, there's one more Paul. If I see one more Paul, I got to block him. Danny, can you do a fan meetup or party in Florida, the beach or something? We'll come to Florida someday. Worst town in America, Baltimore? Yeah, that's a contender for actually a really shitty town, but it's also a contender for a place where Danny Mullen would be most likely to get stabbed at. Danny or Matthew's curious where my sister's wedding was. It was up near Traverse City, Matthew. Up in the Upper Peninsula near Canada and shit. Your entire channel is S tier. I appreciate that. What are your thoughts on Infinite Jest? A lot of repeat questions. Somebody's asking about my vocabulary. They're being very flattering about it, saying it's big. Dude, I just read a lot that I've always liked and had a facility for language, which is what attracted me to comedy. It wasn't the jokes that I liked. It's saying things in a way that is funny. And to me, a sentence that's very precise, all the words describe something in a way that's pinpoint accurate and also unique and never heard before, that is funny to me. Sometimes I'll be reading a book by just a kick-ass author like David Foster Wallace, or I'm reading a book on banking right now. And the author is such a wizard of prose that you can just laugh out loud sometimes because he pulls out this unexpected string of words. And that's what drew me to comedy from the start. And that's what you guys should look for in whatever passion you decide to do is what have you liked all your life and how can you spin that into something that can be a career? Paul is bitching again. He just said Danny this time. He didn't say you forgot to call me. So I'm going to scroll down right now. Yeah, I'm going to block Paul. I'm going to block Paul from Patreon. You guys are going to see this live. He doesn't get to be a patron anymore. This is going to be satisfying because this guy's really distracting. All right, Paul, you're getting the axe. You guys are watching this. I am willingly sacrificing $5 of my own income. Where is he? Oh, this is YouTube. Okay, Paul Broughton is getting the fucking axe. You got to thin the herd, guys. Remember that. Benefits. This is a forest fire blowing through an overgrown wood. Is there nowhere I can search? I'm sorry, I've committed to this, guys. I got to find and destroy Paul. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Paul. There he is. He's only contributed $5, so it's no sad thing to see him go. More block user. Blocked. And that's how it goes, guys. I appreciate the shit out of every one of you. And I'm generally a pretty level-headed, nice guy. But when you drop 16 individual comments with a lot of exclamation marks and a lot of, I can hear his voice through my computer screen. I can read the sound. And it's no doubt high pitch and whiny and nasally. And he's bitching at me for something I never agreed to fucking do. I haven't blocked somebody on here probably 4 months. And it was because they were pulling some sort of fraudulent credit card operation. So, Paul, welcome to the body pile, buddy. Can you put the uncensored version of this? Woos is coming close, too. Talking about titties all the time. Okay, I'm going to try to get into a better frame. Love you, Dan. Currently in my bathroom pretending to shit. Dude, Brandon, I've fucking been there before, brother. When I worked at Jardinier in San Francisco, it's since gone under. The worst job I ever had. 5-star restaurant. So fucking stressful. worked for an asshole chef, an alcoholic, abusive manager, and I would seek refuge in that bathroom. And I know how you feel, man. Get out of there, dude. Find a new job. You can do it. Would you ever shoot in Australia? Nope. Too many poisonous snakes. Any plans to do a fan meetup in NYC? Steven, that I am looking to do before the end of the year. Get to New York City again. What are your thoughts on it? Guys, if you just ask a question once, I'm probably going to get to it. So the spamming is unnecessary. Okay, there's Paul again, so he's blocked. I don't have to respond. And I immediately am so glad I blocked him because I scroll down and I see him 6 times saying the same shit. Emilio, you cannot release the Kraken still. October Sunrise is getting a little trigger happy with his copy and paste on the pursuing a creative dream question too. Yeah, Geo says, Paul, shut the fuck up. That's correct. And there's Packer saying, shut the fuck up. I'm just so happy I clicked the block button. It was worth the 30 seconds I got derailed there. Spamming equals whack as fuck. Creepiest shit a fan has ever done. Ryan, there was a fan that he figured out where I lived. And a lot of you guys probably know this. He was spamming my address and my sister's bank information, phone number, my parents' phone numbers, all over fucking Reddit. And the creepy thing about it was, it would be one thing if he was just some asshole, like, oh, I found Danny Mullins' fucking place of residence. Bam, post on Reddit. Mail him a package. He threatened Leo with it beforehand, which really creeped me out. He used a bunch of smiley faces, and he had this snide tone, something like, I figured out where Danny lives. And Leo said, no, you didn't. He's like, yes, I did. I did detective work. And Leo said, all right, man, be cool. Because the guy posted the address, and it was my address. And Leo's like, be cool, man. Don't do anything with that. And the guy said, if Danny says anything mean to you or Fan Jerry, I'm going to dox his ass. So tell him to be nice. And then 3 days later, my address was all over the fucking internet. He was posting it in the PKA forum on Reddit, my own forum, and I don't really give a shit. I think my dad got prank called a couple times out of it, but it was fucking creepy, dude. And yeah, I'm sure that guy has a very miserable life. I'm not sure what kind of miserable life, but anybody who takes hours and hours of detective work to find where a YouTube comedian lives, and then many more hours spreading that address on the internet, just somebody, the government, the Supreme Court should establish that I can shoot that guy in the fucking head. I want him brought to me like a dog catcher brings a spaniel to its owner, and I want to put one in his skull. When are you coming to the UK? Mitchell, probably next year when I have more money. Do you have any actual feelings about the 2020 presidential election, asks Ryan. Ryan, I'm a little ambivalent toward it. On the one hand, I definitely hate the whiny leftist pussies, these PC assholes, and I want to go vote Trump just to make them sad. Like, I love how Instagram and Spotify and all these platforms are encouraging me to vote, and all the ads are blue, and you can almost see the watermark image of Joe Biden in the background, like you see Ben Franklin when you hold up a certain U.S. currency note. Just come out and say it, you fucking pussies. Goddamn Silicon Valley shit. Just say it. We don't want you to vote. We want you to vote for Joe Biden. And I see these ads and I see fucking these campaign pre-rolls pop up when I'm on YouTube. And part of me just wants to go piss them off. Just to with a MAGA hat and a pair of overalls to my nearest voting station and make a big check mark next to DT's name. I also want Trump to be in office because that's good for the economy. And this career, my Patreon, my merch sales depend on other people having jobs and the economy being healthy. And when Trump got elected in 2016, the economy, the stock market, everything immediately fucking skyrocketed. So you cannot say that he isn't great for the American economy. But on the other hand, if Biden was in office, the stock market would immediately crash, which would make good buys. So from a stock market perspective, I'd get excited about that. And then maybe this insane political correctness would die down a little bit. But that also, the insane political correctness, might contribute to my channel's popularity. This is the snorkel that young men are using to comedy they actually find funny in a time right now where you're getting like fucking, I don't know, insert name of shitty female comedy special on Netflix. If I was sharper right now, I would have had on command a really shitty PC female comic. Amy Schumer, Whitney Cummings. Now a guy's comedy that's being foisted upon him, and that's Q1. Fucking Whitney Cummings is dog shit. There we go. Paul again. Best decision I've made all day, and I've made some decent decisions. With white people, fights are too honorable, says Oblong. Oblong, if you're black, tell me about how you guys fight. I want to hear about that. Or whatever race you're from, I want to hear about the combat tactics. I feel like all YouTubers are afraid of Brooklyn. Can you shoot a prank there? I don't know what I would do in Brooklyn that I couldn't do in New York City. Danny Mullen, wretched crew members will run Tinseltown. Connor, fuck yeah, baby. Ryan's asking a question about offshoot channels that I answered on the last live. That's Ryan Striss. Already answered that one, buddy. Oh, wow. Why is this has been a pretty shitty live as far as just spamming and repeat questions. There's Paul. Best decision I ever made. Devontae, here he is again. Dan, I'm not going to lie, I'm not sure why women think you're that good looking. I mean, obviously you aren't ugly, but I just don't get it. Okay, thank you, Devontae. I'd rather have the opposite problem. Have people on the internet named Devontae think I was really hot and have women think I was ugly. Devontae, I gave you all this advice on pussy. Why are you talking shit? Advice for someone moving. October Sunrise is about to get blocked, too. Yeah, dude, October Sunrise, you're fucking treading thin ice. You ever collab with your hottest fans? Michael, I want to collaborate with Kiana, but my girlfriend does not like her, which I understand why. I mean, put yourself in the opposite situation. You're dating a girl, and some really attractive guy is interacting with her on social media. Is coming right out and saying he wants to fuck her, and she, your girlfriend, is asking to see that guy's dick. Because I asked to see Kiana's titties after all. I don't blame my girlfriend for not liking Kiana, but I really do owe it to the fans to do some sort of collaboration with her. She's the first lady. Go to Fresno. Jonah, I've already done it. Kissing gas station ladies. We filmed the Fresno video. Scariest time of your life? I don't know if you mean scary in a psychological, this is a bad place, financially, relationship-wise, my living situation scary, or do you mean scary like somebody pulled a knife on me or I fell off something high? Come to Portland. Brandon, we're still working on the Antifa video. I'm going to block October Sunrise. October Sunrise is getting blocked. That's not a real name, though, so I might not be able to find October Sunrise. Sorry, guys. I'm just willingly lighting $5 Abraham Lincoln notes on fire right now. October Sunrise gets a pass. I'm too lazy. What's the beef with Ryan the Leader and Churdleys? First of all, Addison, there's absolutely no beef with Churdleys. Ryan the Leader, just after we filmed the Edward 40 Hands during coronavirus video, that was his house. And to be absolutely fair, I was a drunken wreck. I got in a physical fight with his neighbor. I climbed on an apartment complex next door to him. I broke glass. I caused all sorts of trouble. He should have expected that, yes, inviting Danny Mullen over. But I apologized to him after. And he was, I could feel through my smartphone that he was pacing his bedroom fuming as he just pounded away on his digital keyboard. Just like, oh, it was a fake apology. You posted it in the video. Obviously, you're not sorry. Ooh, you think you're anti-PC, but you got the wrong approach to it. He's just a little fucking weasel. And he What he's doing involves zero creativity. He looked at what Shirley's was doing and did the exact same fucking thing. He's Balin Levine of Churdley's empire. Okay? He's using the same actors, the same sketch concepts. He's just a fucking leech, dude. He's the kind of guy I could beat the shit out of with one hand. We called them bots when I lived in San Francisco. Oh, I hope these spammers. Yeah, dude. Jay Raska, what the fuck is up with spammers today? This has never happened before. Usually people ask one question and they're gone. Oh, Jimmy the Rev, the dead drummer from Avenged Sevenfold's in the chat. Favorite album? I like the Live at Long Beach City album. Holy shit. That is one of the greatest vocal performances I've ever heard. And they play a bunch of kick-ass songs. Okay, Yitzy and October Sunrise, I'm going to block you guys if this happens again in a future fucking live. Come on, guys. Be respectful to everybody else. I'm going to get to your question. Class right now. Kevin's ignoring shit in class. Good, man. Yeah, Jay, pussy getting market has been a little fucked up by the virus. I wouldn't know because I've just been in a relationship. I never had a 10. One time I had 5 2s. That should count. If you had 5 women, even if they were 1s, I'll even drop it down a notch. That's still impressive. Ryan, yeah, I do realize Devontae called me ugly. Still, the most inflammatory thing that happened to this live wasn't that. It was Paul's jerk-off ass talking about calling him. How are you punishing Fanjerry for the Mia incident? I recommend BDSM. He deserves some sort of punishment. There's a video there. You out here trying to get laid? Neutral milk reference. Oh, yeah. Jonah likes a joke I made 30 minutes ago. Can you please shoot a prank and shut up, Yitzy? Shut up, October Sunrise. Danny Mullen camping trip part 2? For sure. We'll do another 24-hour challenge. I love those. Oblong, I talked about the Fanjerry betrayal at the head of this live. All right. Guys, I need to tell Ian, my assistant, to go ban Yitzy and October Sunrise. Go to an aquarium on mushrooms or make Austin do it. Yeah, the option where Austin does it is a little more attractive. I'm afraid of fucking... I'm too old, dude. I'm too old to start psychedelics now. Hunter S. Thompson started doing psychedelics in his 30s, and he blew his head off when he was 64. I don't need that, man. That fucks with you. Your action of jumping off the bridge with Iggy on his debut rang true, Daniel Mullen. I go over the side with my men. What can I say? Danny, collaborations with Nelk again? I would like to, man. Okay. Paul is apologizing, but I'm still mad because he's saying I agreed to FaceTime him, and I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What's your favorite Avenged Sevenfold album? Already got to that one. Dude, Yitzy's pissing me off. I just know that won't be his name on Patreon. Oh, Jerry's like 24, right? Dude needs a reality check. I don't know what to do about that. Ryan, go to Brooklyn and tell everyone their pizza sucks in a thick fake Italian accent with a fake mustache. That's pretty funny. All right, guys, I'm trying to find something of substance here. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling. Yeah, you guys are fucking assholes. I'm almost down to the bottom. You didn't need to be spamming like this. There was no need for me to melt down. And I'm about to fucking... Somebody's spamming my phone, too. Make Fanjerry watch Saw on 5 tabs of LSD. Pat O'Shan, that's funny. That's an original, clever idea. Paul saying he had the idea for the 1,000 milligrams. I don't know, man. I don't remember doing that. And you've soured relationships between yourself and I with your spamming. Kayla is so fucked up. Or do you have a penis inside of you? Oh my God, Yitzy. I will fucking kill you. Is Nico's brother Brandon actually fucking brain dead, or was that interview a joke? Nico's brother Brandon, that it's only on Patreon that exists. It's an extra from the San Diego video I did at the very beginning of the year where I invaded San Diego State. Yeah, dude, he hit his head bombing a hill in Orange County. Actually fell off a skateboard, hit his head, was in a coma for something like 2 days. So I think he actually does have neurological issues. Very perceptive, Sweefix. Finally saw that Doug Stanhope football bit. Jay, I mentioned that. Was it a live, Jay, or was it a podcast? Doug Stanhope, who one of you guys, it was in one of these live streams, one of you guys asked me about Doug Stanhope. I said he's not really my favorite. I'm not a big fan. And you said, hey, Danny, quit being a fucking faggot. Give him another chance. And I went and I listened to all of his stuff on Spotify and rewatched his special No Refunds. Re-listened to the one that Jay's referencing where he talks about rushing onto the football field and in a nightcap of an NFL game and raping a linebacker. Jay seems to have liked it. Yeah, Doug Stanhope is going to die really soon. He gets drunk every night, does every drug under the sun, but he just has this cynical, dark worldview. And his act is so unpolished, and everything seems like it's coming right from the top of his head. And he's a talent in stand-up comedy. He's one of those no bullshit guys, like Greg Giraldo, Patrice O'Neal, Louis C.K., Bill Burr. Those guys have a huge influence on me, and that's maybe why sometimes I can come off as being mean, because I like to call out stupid shit when I see it. And he's a guy who certainly does that. Ryan asks, do you think Mr. Beast is a good guy or do you hate him? I don't have any problem with him personally. I think his content fucking sucks and is in no way deserving of the views it gets. I mean, dude, he did a 24-hour in Slab City video that my editor Ian and I watched, and we watched it on the freeway, to roll down my window and vomit into the carpool lane. I hated it so much. They left, first of all, at about 8 p.m., and I think they got there at 3 p.m. So they were there for, 5 hours? They did nothing interesting. They just interacted amongst themselves. And yeah, it's frustrating to see videos like that with 83 billion views when I go do two heightened, brave, or comedically heightened. There were good bits of both. Very brave. I'm risking personal injury in both fucking videos. Really getting into the grit and the grime of this off-the-grid society. And my videos have combined less than 1 million views, which I regretted going onto that rant right when I said it. I'm very grateful for the amount of views my videos get, but I know the channel's got a long way to grow. We'll get up there, maybe not to 83 kajillion views, but it's going to be big. We're going to be the biggest thing in adult entertainment, so don't worry. What are your favorite podcasts? I saw somebody mention down below. I've been listening to the Tim fucking, what's his name? Tim, why am I retarded today? There are multiple things I've forgotten. A Tim Dillon podcast. Jesus Christ. I fucking hate that. As a performer, guys, it's so frustrating. Some days I go out there, every word is right at the tip of my tongue at my command. These beautiful literary sentences come flowing out. I can see the punchline of a joke I'm about to set up from a mile away, and I'm just on top of it. And sometimes it's like I'm trying to drive a car with cataracts, or I'm trying to fucking fly a hang glider through a fog in a mountain range. It's just sometimes I'm off, and like when I can't fucking remember the name of a podcast I've been listening to all week, it makes me feel like I'm losing my marbles a little bit. So yeah, Tim Dillon's one that I've been listening to recently. Other than that, dude, I listen to a lot of old shit, a lot of old Howard Stern, a lot of old Opie and Anthony, a lot of old Loveline. Jimmy the Rev says my eyes are sparkly today. Favorite Avenged Sevenfold material? My favorite Avenged Sevenfold song might be fucking Nightmare, dude. Kick ass. We listen to it a lot before we're filming. We get fired up off that shit. Leo is voting for Biden to legalize his adventures. Are you saying Leo's a pedophile? What is that insinuating? Or is Joe Biden running on a platform to legalize parking lot blowjobs? Oh my God. Yitzi is laughing at his shit. I really want to fucking block. I'm going to try to block Yitzi. October Sunrise wised up and started redacting his comments. Good move, October Sunrise. You get to stay. But Yitzi is about to get drug out to the guillotine. What's the best concert you've ever been to? Marion, good question. Brand New. That's a band. I saw them in 2007 after they just dropped their most highly regarded album now, in retrospect, The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me. They were touring with Manchester Orchestra and Kevin Devine, two bands I also really like and who I've used in my videos. I've used all three of those. And I was, during the last song, the song they still closed their concerts with until the lead singer got Me Too'd and they had to go underground and break up. They were playing You Won't Know to end the show. I was in the front row. We got in there like 6 hours early. I just got so fucking fired up. And the entire crowd was losing their mind. It was, I could tell they were having one of those shows where it's like a comedian is having a night where their ability is how I just described. The jokes are coming out. They can see the sentences, the setups, the punchlines before they happen. The crowd is dying laughing. I could tell the band was having that sort of night. The mosh pit was gigantic. The roadies were even fucking feeling it. The roadies were so losing fucking control. They were just running out from backstage and diving into the fucking crowd, which I've never seen before. And this wasn't some little hardcore show or some fucking 2-bit punk thing. It was a full-on Warfield Auditorium show in San Francisco. Rows of big burly security guards. The fucking roadies were so losing their minds. They were just fucking jumping off the stage. I fucking lost control too. I pop up on the barricade and dive over one of the security guards' heads and try to get on stage. 3 dudes who looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger grabbed me and wrestled me to the floor. But they were super nice. They're like, you can't, man. You can't do it. We got to get you out of here. They lead me back around into the mosh pit, or the crowd area where everybody's standing room only. I crowd surf back up to the front. The fucking guitarist, Vin Accardi, is smashing his fucking guitar. Their other backup guitarist, who they tour with, is like slamming his head into the amplifier. I crowd surf up to the front. The lead singer, Jesse Lacey, is looking at me. I'm like, Jesse, I fucking love you, man. I fucking love you. Some other asshole tries to jump off on stage. He gets yanked off too. I think Jesse recognized me for my stage dive attempt, runs over to me, and the bouncers grab me off the stage dive, and they're trying to shove me out. And I'm like, Jesse, I fucking love you. One of the bouncers says, hey, you want to meet your idol, kid? And like pushes me over to Jesse Lacey, the guy who got Me Too'd. Jesse Lacey grabs my hand and bows to me from the stage. And I saw that band like 10 times. They were my favorite fucking act as a kid. Never saw them do that. So I think they were in the zone. I think that was one of the best shows they ever had, or at least they were reacting as such. And that was a really cool experience for me, having worshipped that band for a long time. And I still like that band. The lyrics are still fucking incredible. Their last album, Science Fiction, was great, as was The Devil and God. One second, guys. I'm trying to plug this in so I can have battery charged. And then we're going to go down the home stretch here, answer the last question. 1 second. Here. Parker Weber is taking credit for a Fan Jerry meme on Reddit. I'm sure that's actually pretty funny. I don't like to go on the Reddit, dude, because a lot of dudes are just talking shit on me on there. But that is, I'm sure it's hilarious. People send me, like the crew sends me something if it's really funny from the Reddit, or they show it to me on their phone, and I like it. What drugs have you done? Cameron, salvia, cocaine, Molly, and I was on Adderall at Mia's party. Some of you guys were wondering what I was high on because my jaw was clearly working. I was on 10 milligrams of Adderall, so I would have fallen asleep otherwise. I go to bed so fucking early. Nook Hall is asking if I plan to crash any political events. If Trump gets reelected, I'm sure there's going to be some hilarious backlash marches that I absolutely must attend. Yeah, I would love that, dude. Why did you get kicked out of the frat? Christopher, this is a long story. I've told it a lot of times, and unfortunately, I'm gonna sign off for tonight. It was basically a pattern of behavior, dude. Anything from breaking bottles of alcohol. If I was finished with a beer, I wouldn't go over to the blue recycling bin. I wouldn't even carelessly just toss it in a wastebasket. I would throw it against the wall. If I finished a handle of Captain Morgan and I was upstairs, I'd walk over to the stairwell, hold it out over the landing, and let go. Like, that was the mindset. And it's endless, the kind of shit we did. My buddy Umber and I kicked down a guy's door when he was out of town, went in there with a samurai sword and just started chopping up his furniture and belongings, pissed all over the couch, smeared peanut butter on his bedding. I took a shit in the middle of the bathroom floor one night, didn't make it to the toilet, could have, didn't want to. And to cap all this off, we raided another fraternity house once, flooded their basement, and two guys had to move out because of a mold risk. I guess it cost $14,000, or was it? I think it was $12,000 to repair, and the house had enough. Thankfully, it was like the last week of my senior year, so it wasn't like I missed out on a whole lot. I told the story in depth of the raid on the other frat house, and it's a pretty funny story. Jack's asking a good question. If I have any plans of leaving California, and if so, where? Jack, my favorite place that I've traveled to recently has been, unsurprisingly, Texas. Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas are fucking great. We were just up in Wichita, Kansas. We started in Topeka, and Topeka was a fuckhole. There was no temptation there for me to uproot the regime and go over to Topeka. But Wichita was clean, had nice high-rise apartment complexes, a river going through town with beautiful bike trails and running trails alongside of it. And the fucking crazy thing, Jack, is that right now, with the amount of money I have in my bank account, I could buy a luxury 3-bedroom home in Wichita, Kansas. Certainly not in fucking LA. A luxury, I'm talking beautiful stone countertops, brand new stainless steel appliances, hangy lights that look fancy. I don't know anything about architecture, interior design, or housing. I just like new houses that look clean. For $200,000 or $300,000, you can get that. A beautiful, brand new family home. For comparison, the house we live in here in Los Angeles is nice. It's 3 bedrooms, pretty big living room, decent kitchen. We have the back room that we podcast out of. Then we have a backyard and a garage that we've turned into a weight room. So it's comfortable. But we also share our driveway with our neighbor. I've said this a lot. Our rain gutters are touching the neighbor's rain that way. There's a fucking gate to our driveway. You have to stack the cars in like fucking Connect 4 things where you drop them in. They're stacked on top of each other. My analogies aren't good right now, or my similes, or whatever. It kind of sucks. And this house on the market, by the way, it was built in the fucking 40s. It's old as shit. It looks kind of dirty. It's on the market for $997,000 or something like that. It's $300,000 more expensive than Foo's beautiful house in Vegas, and it's about $700,000 more than a much nicer house you could get in Wichita. So you can't buy here in LA, dude. But then again, there's a reason the Hollywood film industry is here. It's sunny all year round, so I never get rained out of shoots, or I rarely get rained out of shoots. It's only really a concern in January and February. We have the ocean, we have mountains, we have deserts, we have meadows, we have San Francisco, we have San Diego, we have the little meth towns. We have all the history that goes along with Hollywood. There is a lot to film. So it would have to be somewhere like Texas that would contend with California as far as a good YouTube base. And I think that's represented in the amount of YouTubers that live in Texas. But that's far away from home. I'd have to bring the whole squad there. So I think, Jack, a more likely move would be to move to a cheaper place in California, like San Diego, where it's just $200,000 cheaper to buy a house. Jim Yatt has something negative to say about Jerry. Jerry needs to be caressed by a violent seahorse. That sounds pleasant, Jim. Just getting caressed by a seahorse. I don't care how violent he is. He can't do much damage. It's like Daddy Longlegs. Those spiders probably want us all dead, us humans. We wash them down plug holes. We throw them in the trash, swat them with newspapers. But their mouths are too small. Doesn't matter how much they hate us. I think the same thing goes with the seahorse. Do you think you can be addicted to weed? Yeah, Pat, I do. I do, yeah. I don't know. I think it's just a mental fucking addiction. I don't know. That was a shitty answer. I think it's a mental addiction. It's like when Fan Jerry tries to explain his take on anarchism, and there was as much substance in what I just said about weed addiction. Yeah, Fan Jerry says he's an anarchist, but I don't think he can begin to explain how an anarchist society would function. I'm addicted to crack. All the drinking, piss drinking. Do you think your liver and kidneys would make it till you're 45? Oblong, that is really overblown how much I drink, because early in the channel's lifespan, I did a lot of drinking on camera, mostly because I didn't have the confidence to go out and perform sober. So, and I didn't have the time, or I had a job on the side, so there was not a lot of time to write and edit, so I would just go get drunk for content. But in college, dude, I would drink 1 week, go 3 weeks off. Drink 1 week, go 3 weeks off. So I've never had a really strong relationship with alcohol. I mean, that's not really true. I've had a little bit of a fling with alcohol since I was 17, but I drink now almost not at all. And I used to drink a lot less than people used to think. Danny, Dylan, or even do a podcast video with him, says Grant. Yeah, he says he collaborates with like shithead TikTokers and stuff. I would absolutely love to do something with Tim Dillon. He lives in Palm Springs. Sorry, guys. I'm going back up. I got to wrap this up. Danny left. Yeah, I know. Oh, dude, did I miss a bunch of shit? It looked like it was... Guys, I'm seeing a bunch of new questions now. And these weren't there when I was scrolling down. I thought we were in the wrap-up mode. Dude, I missed a lot. Okay, yeah, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap this up another night. But these lives, they stay saved, so I'm gonna answer all these questions and put it up in a separate video. Yeah, looks like there was a lot of good, thought-out stuff. All right, guys, I missed a lot. I don't know, my fucking cursor, my little scrolly bar on the right side of the screen was all the way down to the bottom. It looked like I was fucking done. God damn it, I was way behind. People are all cheering me on for cutting Paul's head off. That happened long ago. Guys, this has been a weird fucking live. My cursor, it's my scroll window, it's cutting off old conversation. And I'm sorry, guys, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to answer the rest of these questions. Yeah, guys, don't turn this into a spam fest next time. And I'm talking to two of you, so I'm not reprimanding the rest of you at all. Yeah, guys, I'm going to try to get to the rest of these questions later this week. I would just say in the future, when I post the time up ahead of time, you are going to get preferential treatment if you're here on time. So I'm going to see that first. Guys, I wish I could get to all of you. I feel fucking bad. But, oh, Mace Window's in the chat. Sweet, dude. Yeah, a Jedi. All right, guys. But thank you, Cameron Graham. I appreciate you. But I'm going to I'm going to save this and I'm going to answer this some other time. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this stream. It wasn't bad, right?